All right, guys, here's a look at my very first ever, what they call a Chevy Square body, which is generally made from 73 to 87, but I think the Blazers and Suburbans go up to 91. This one here is a 1984, same year I was born, a 1984 Chevrolet Suburban, obviously, 3/4 ton, 4x4 diesel. This is the 6.2 liter diesel. A lot of folks didn't realize these things came either in 3/4 or in a diesel configuration. This one's a little bit of a rare bird, as in, you know, it's being diesel 4x4 3/4 ton. There just wasn't a whole lot of these things made. This is the way that I picked it up. As you see it, it's still got all the mold or whatever you want to call it growing on the side of it. But you can see anywhere where it was underneath something for protection, it's open in those areas. And so I'm thinking that it's going to pressure wash up pretty well on the sides at least. The roof I can't say the same for. It's pretty rusty, as well as the hood. But it just appears to be surface rust even on top of the roof there. So, you know, I think it'll clean up. There's a few rust spots where it's actually rusted through. Most of it, or the worst part I would say, is on the other side. And I'm not sure if this window is going to be replaceable because there's some heavy rust here. The quarter panels, mostly good. Just this little corner here, and not as bad as it could be, I guess you could say. Has all, well, not all four, but 3 of the 4 dog dish wheel covers, which I totally for this rig. It was classic running when last parked, and I think it may even be a 2-person owner, officially a 1-person. I think the neighbors just used it on their farm, never titled it in their name. So technically, possibly I'm the second owner on it on paper. So here's a look at the inside. It's all complete. Everything's there. It's a little rough, a little worse for the wear. But I mean, as you can see, it looks like it was running and driving when it was parked there. Got the captain's seats. This is the Silverado package, which before Chevrolet called their pickup trucks the Silverado, the Silverado was actually a package for their trucks. And from what I have read, the Silverado package is the top of the line package of this year model. And you can see the 20 on there stands for 3/4 ton. Previously on Chevy trucks, it was a 10 series, 20 and 30, which represented half 2,500 and 3/4 ton, or I mean 1 ton. So you can see the 20 on there. This is a K model. It's a 4x4, 4-wheel drive. I believe it's should be Chevy corporate 10-bolt front and rear. Excuse me, I just kind of bouncing around all over this video. It's kind of my first one to do something like this, but I just want to show people what these old Bourbons look like. And a heck of a deal, man. I can't believe it, $700. Rear air conditioning, vinyl seats, captain's chairs in the front. It looks good up here. Obviously the dash is cracked, but again, I keep saying everything is just there. All the gauges are there. The Silverado package includes all full gauges, whereas some of the other models would just include dummy lights. This thing opens. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I can do it one hand. All kinds of goodies left in there by the previous owner. Manual shifting 4-wheel drive, column shift, automatic. I want to believe, yeah, it's an automatic transmission. I guess I missed that spec. Let's check that out. It's even got this chrome trim that, I don't know what that's, oh, you know what, that's actually metal. That's not the cheap plastic stuff you see at the parts store. Anyway, I forget where I was going. Yeah, 4-wheel drive. Oh, it's a automatic transmission. I believe it's the, I'm going to get this wrong. I think it's the TH400, which is a 3-speed automatic. So really, she'll do probably about 60 to 65 comfortably on the highway. And of course, here's some of the mess they left. Down here inside the back, what's cool about it is they've added this floor mat, so you can tell there's no third row seat. But what they did do is have this floor mat, which underneath there, the carpet actually looks decent. Check this out. Look at that. I mean, it looks new. I mean, I'm in the shadow right there. I don't know if you can tell, but that carpet looks great as compared to that junk down there. It looks super clean. So my assumption is this may have been a dealer installed option. It may have been on for the life of the vehicle. So if you're not familiar with square body Suburbans, which I'm not, I'm pretty new. This is how the seats operate. Typically you would just fold down this passenger side, I guess 80-20 maybe they call this. I don't think it's a 60-40. For me it's an 80-20. It's got the single seat, whatever you want to call it. Fold this side down. You can leave that side up for people to crawl into the back. Or you can fold them both flat for like a, I wish I had a tape measure on me. I want to say from that tailgate to this fold up seat is probably about 6 to 8 feet. So tons of room in here. Could probably sleep 2 or 3 adults or even a family of 4 with kids. So I'll spin around the outside and we'll go to the other side. Looks like so one thing I just noticed that there's an exhaust tip on both sides. I don't know if it's a true dual or if it just splits at the muffler. Either way, that's kind of cool. Here's the back. I originally hoped for a barn door configuration. This one's clearly the tailgate. So those are the two different styles of options. I preferred the barn doors. And one of the real reasons why, well, the first reason why is because once you fold the tailgate down, I mean, it's real deep in there to try to reach stuff. It's not like a pickup truck where you can just go around the side of it. I mean, you got to get everything out into the back or up in the front by the seats. So it just makes accessing some of that stuff really hard. But outside of that, what I realized, there's no handle on the outside of this thing. It's just a key port, which from what I can figure out is you just plug your key in here, roll the window down, and then reach in there and open it up. That's my only you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Again, I'm new to these square bodies, and this is my first Suburban as well. Tow hitch on there, haven't taken a look at it, see what it's rated at, see if it's still good for use. There's the other exhaust tip. Lenses are clouded up, and again, you've got all this stuff growing on here that, man, with the pressure washer, I think it'll clean up. And just, I don't think this paint will buff out. It's pretty rough. I don't know if that's making out. It's got cracks and everything, but you know, it could be white instead of polka dotted like it is now. Coming around the other side, here's that worst spot of the rust that I was mentioning. I think what I'll do is just cut out whatever's rusted away here and just fill it in, and with, you know, weld in a patch panel and just, you know, fill it in with some Bondo or whatever, real light layer, whatever I can do. I think I'm just gonna probably just rhino line up. Not a big fan of that usually, but based on the condition of the vehicle, the size of it, just the cost of a paint job would just be outrageous. And plus, I'm not sure if this really qualifies for a paint job. This is a new spot I didn't notice earlier, so I got some rusting up here. So a couple random spots, but for the most part, like, you'll see these quarter panels, just a small spot. I mean, for a $700 rig, 4-wheel drive diesel, I don't know, I think it's fun. So flipping this up here, of course you'd want to fix those seat belts there, but bench seat in the back. So as configured currently, you could ride 5 in here, at least in seat belts. Of course, you can always throw a kindergarten class in the back probably. And here's the cockpit. As you can see, power windows, power locks. Another thing that I liked about this rig was, so there's two controllers right here. The top switch is for the rear window. That bottom switch is for the rear AC. So this is an air-conditioned vehicle. It was spent its life here in Texas, according to that tag in the back. See, the dealership tag was out of Houston, and I picked it up outside of San Antonio, which is, you know, I'm assuming this thing hadn't gone far, so I'm hoping that's not a rear heat, because that wouldn't do me much good. I just noticed the rearview mirror is missing. And is that a crack? There's like a traced out line on this glass. It almost looks intentional because there's 2 lines going down. It's got to be there on purpose for some reason. If it's like a heater or like a antenna or something. I don't know what that is. Dash is cracked. Gauges are all there. Got battery, oil pressure, coolant temp. Oh, that's a clock. That's sweet. And then of course your odometer, which says 35,000. I'm gonna guess it's 135 based on the condition of the vehicle. And then a fuel gauge. There's the verification, diesel fuel only. Controls, I mean, it's got the original stereo in there, which I dig. I know a lot of people probably pull that out, but I prefer the original look of it. I don't know if I'll keep it or what I'll do. And then it looks like, based on all this jazz, that there is a CB installed in this bad boy. So, and then one other thing, this steering wheel, let me see if I can back up enough to see it, but there's, somebody may have had a steering wheel cover on it, or it's just melting. But man, if you touch that thing, it's like touching tar. It sticks to your hand and turns your hand black. Man, it's got sunshades. I think this side has a mirror on it. The headliner is a little worse for wear. Looks like it's been used for target practice or picking your nose, I'm not sure. It's got a dome light that's missing the middle of it, and then there's a dome light back there, and then there's two cargo lights, and I haven't gotten those to work yet. Oh dang it, I touched the steering wheel. Somebody even left me a few cigarette butts. That's always fun. And then the glove box here, let's take a look if you haven't seen one of these before. Random wiring under the dash, that's always helpful. And you know what, I wanted to look to see if there's supposed to be codes in here for Chevys, and I don't see it on the, maybe by this point they moved it, I don't know. Somebody again can jump in the comments and tell me. Oh, one other thing I thought was super awesome, check out that what is that, ABC pillar back there by the side of the seats. There's actually cigarette lighters or outlets for cigarette plugs. And let's go around, I'll show you on this side. I mean, they really wanted to accommodate smokers back in the day, make them comfortable. You can see there's you know, ashtray in the door, and then on top of it in the post right there, it's a cigarette lighter. So I think it'd be super cool to get those converted over just to regular power outlets and be able to charge your iPad or whatever you're doing from the back seat back here. So let's see, what else can we look at? Oh, these running boards, super awesome. This one looks like it's busted. Those things will be pulled off here pretty quickly. And just for fun, I know it's dead, but I have it hooked up to my Jeep battery right now, and you can see the glow plug light turning off and on. It looks like it's saying that it has enough volts to start. I don't believe it. I don't know. I wonder if the lights work. But I don't know. Let's see what happens. Just for fun. Absolutely nothing. Okay, that was exciting. And anyways, that wraps it up. If you guys got any questions or comments, leave them down below. Again, this is my first square body Chevy. I know nothing about them. Looks like there's the AC compressor under the hood. It's got dual batteries. The fluids looked good for the most part. The oil was good. It wasn't cloudy. It was just straight black, as you would expect for a diesel. And transmission fluid was a good level. It was clear, not burnt or anything. However, the coolant was empty, or at least here in the radiator. And from what I could tell, looks like there was a brake leak. Haven't checked that fluid yet. And then also, if you look down in this area, I can't see in the camera right now. I don't know if it's picking it up, but there was a leak from the power steering. It's because the power steering reservoir is empty. I should pop the air cleaner off, see what the air filter looks like. Oh, look at this mud dauber nest. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Anyways, that's all I got for you today, guys. This is as I drug her home. I want to keep her as close to original as possible. I mean, obviously not like numbers matching or anything silly like that. It's not that kind of a vehicle, but just the original look, feel, and style of it I'd like to maintain. It's enormous. I don't know if it's the biggest SUV ever made, but it sure does feel like it, especially parked next to a Jeep Wrangler, even the four-door model. it dwarfs it by quite a bit. Makes it look like a toy. But yeah, I'd like to get it cleaned up on the inside. New headliner, maybe get the interior pieces cleaned up, painted or replaced. And then maybe bedline the floor too. I don't know if I'd recarpet it or maybe put a rubber floor down on it just to give it more insulation, keep it cool and quiet in here. I guess as much as possible with the 30-something-year-old diesel engine. Yeah, 34 years old, just like me. How fun. So, anyways, I love this thing. It's my favorite color combination. It's white with tan, because if you look over here on my Jeepy, boom, white with tan. I love that color combination. And man, every body panel on here straight. The only like damage I see is to the grill here. That light's smashed out, and the grill's kind of bent in, and I can't figure out. I can't see a spot where it hit it, but it does look bent right here. I don't know. So it's super dusty under here on the hood, but man, I think it's going to clean up real nice. Hope you guys are as excited as I am. Follow along the build. Stay tuned, subscribe, like the channel, and I'll give you guys more of the Suburban.